Peace, Lovies. It's Amira, also known as Blissfully Mindful, back at it with another Living Mindfully video. Today we are chatting about what I eat in a day. So excited about this one. Been wanting to do one of these for a long time. As you all know, I am alkaline vegan, and I admit I cheat a lot. We have a cheat meal once a week, but typically, what I'm going to show you today is what I tend to eat. Now, I will say I only really eat like 2 meals a day. If I eat breakfast, I really don't eat lunch, or if I eat lunch, I probably didn't eat breakfast. So I honestly do more of brunch because that's kind of how late I even eat, because I'm not really hungry when I first wake up. And I need a few hours, I think, for my digestive system to wake up. So I really am just not an early eater. But here I'm just making some avocado toast with this sprouted spelt bread. I just tried this brand. I think I may have tried it a long time ago, but yeah, I haven't bought bread in a while because I bake my own. But I wanted to pick some of these up just because something quick, and I didn't have any baked bread at the time. But typically I do keep baked bread. Sometimes I just want some sliced bread, And so this was a great find in the organic market. I think I've seen this brand though everywhere, pretty much, even in the regular grocery stores. But yeah, just making up some avocado toast. I honestly make this different ways every time I make it. Here I'm just putting in some onion powder from Trader Joe's. It was onion salt, from Trader Joe's, and then just putting a little bit of black pepper on there. I'm gonna just blend that up and get that ready for the food processor. So probably will need one more because this is only one, but I have a tiny food processor, so you'll notice me doing things 2 times because I can't really fit that much in here, and because I have a tiny apartment, I can't really get a large food processor. I don't really have the space for it, so that's why I have this little small one. At some point though, I'm gonna get one of my absolute favorite blender. It's my dream blender. I can't wait to get it. That actually is a food processor, a blender. It's kind of it kind of does everything, but at some point I will get the Vitamix. Also, I like to make some hot tea with my breakfast. Now, there are times when breakfast is hot tea, and that's it. That's it. That's what's for breakfast is hot tea. If I'm not really hungry at all, but I just want to get some. Now, teas for me are very key on this diet. You get the ones that have lots of nutrients in them. Teas become quite invaluable. And I think just in general, whether you're on this diet or not, teas, you get some. There's some really awesome teas out there that just really give you bang for your nutrient. And I'm actually collecting those right now. I can't say I have them all at the moment. I do plan to get them. And so on my list of teas, I want to I already have fennel tea. I have elderberry, chamomile, raspberry, anise. I want some anise. I want some dandelion, amaranth, and I want to actually get some blackberry tea, but those will give me lots of nutrients. So, I can have that in the morning and just kind of have it be breakfast and a good dose of nutrients for the day. Here I'm all putting on nothing but the bagel on there and just some apple slices. Sometimes I just like to add a little fruit on there just because I'm not sure. Sometimes I can't make up my mind if I have a sweet tooth in the morning or something salty. So I have salty craving, and this was one of those mornings. Just could not seem to make up my mind, but just decided to go with putting some fruit on there just in case. And these apples honestly weren't all that sweet anyway, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, here it is. Breakfast is served. anyway, after this, we just decided to head on to the dog park, let her run around for a bit because I actually needed some ingredients for some other meals. So we just ran up to Trader Joe's after the dog park, and she's just having time of her life. She loves to go to Trader Joe's. All right, we are back at home, and later on that day, just got started on some dinner. We also went to the international market, so I picked up some burro bananas. You all know I do tend to use those a lot. To be quite honest with you, on this diet, I wing it quite a bit, and I'm winging it right here. I'm just like, I didn't want, I didn't even know how I wanted to make these burro bananas, but I just decided I wanted to make these like little patty things. Never tried this before. I'm literally doing it with you all right now on camera. So I literally am winging it. So pardon me. But yeah, I decided I wanted some like kind of patty things with the burro bananas this time. And um, I know burro bananas, if you were interested in being alkaline, I do realize everyone may not be able to find burro bananas if they don't have a local international market. So, it's on this diet does tend to be a little difficult. Like depending on where you live, you just may not have access to a lot, and the diet is so restrictive that it can honestly be quite boring. If it's like very redundant. You just tend to eat the same things over and over. And so that's why I do tend to kind of wing it when I do make dinner, because I just get bored. I don't want the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. And I just want to kind of come up with some new recipes. I want to just keep my creativity sharp, also, and just kind of think outside the box and try to come up with some stuff. So that's what I did here. So I just decided, let me just do some burro banana, throw some dill in there. I'm not really sure what I wanted that to do, but I just figured, I don't know, let me just try it out. I had some dill, wanted to throw it in there with the burro banana, and that's what I did. Pop that in the food processor, and again, you all know I have a small food processor, so I have to do little bits at a time. So here I am putting the rest of it in there. But all right, we are all set to get this seasoned up with the dill and burro banana mix. It's looking promising though. It is. It's definitely got the texture that I was wanting for this dish, because obviously if I have to put them in little patties, I needed a bit of a solid texture. Didn't want it too mushy because then it won't hold together. So kind of left it sort of chunky, but not too chunky, because I don't want them. I don't even know what I was thinking. Maybe sort of like a hash brown type of thing. I guess that's what it'll probably come out like. I'm not sure. I'm just winging it, you all. So then you're just going to add some seasoning, whatever you want, honestly, whatever you have on hand, because that's really what I did. I just kind of added what I had on hand, what I thought might complement it. Some sea salt, some sage, some mushroom powder, and onion salt. I actually had thought about putting onion chunks in there, and maybe try that next time. Not sure. If I wanted, I think I might actually try that next time. I think it actually may make the flavor pop even more than the dill did. But and I wasn't sure about how it was going to stick, so I did pour a little grapeseed oil in there just to make sure. And actually, that did do the trick. It was like almost too chunky, and I wasn't sure it was going to hold together. So actually, that did do the trick. I didn't want to put water because I thought that would make it too mushy. And I also decided to add some spelt flour to, again, I wanted it to hold together. just not, I don't even know how much. I kind of eyeballed it. All right, so then decided to follow up with some paprika. You all, again, I'm winging this, so I'm kind of adding things very randomly. Please excuse. But again, I just while I'm, this diet is very, I don't know. It's like I love it. I really do because I totally see the benefits of it. It's just really difficult. It's so restrictive. But I see the benefits. Like I will tell you, the minute I go off of it, I always get that gut fat. Every time that gut fat comes right back. The minute I go back on it, the gut fat goes away. Like it just like that. I mean, this diet, if you want to get rid of the gut fat or whatever fat, it is, man, it works like a charm. So it's very, very good for that. And it's also just good for just your health in general. I mean, have not had health issues being on this diet like at all. It definitely strengthens your immune system for sure, like without question. And just keeps you pretty healthy. I will say that about it. It's just that you have to have a very strong will on this diet. And right now, I wouldn't say I'm 100% alkaline vegan because, like I said, we do have a cheat meal once a week and sometime twice. um, it's just that I do in the house primarily keep the alkaline food in here just, to make the cheating less. I'm looking at these, y'all. I know I'm off topic, but I think I should have put some mushroom chunks as well. That would be good. It's like some mushroom and onion chunks in here. Oh my God, that would really set it off. So yeah, next time. But yeah, back to how the diet is. It is, you really do have to have a strong will. Like I would say if you weren't vegan yet to go straight to being alkaline, because that is just, yeah. Too hard. It's definitely something that you have to kind of ease into and just mentally prepare yourself for because you are going to get bored with the diet. It's so restrictive. The choices are quite limited and you just may not even like the choices because they're not always the most tasty. Like you really have to think out of the box and come up with ways to make the food taste good and be interesting, because I think for me, I need my food to be interesting. That's just like the relationship that I have with my food. And that's also the thing about this diet. It definitely makes you become more introspective about your relationship with food, because I found on this diet that it kind of called me out on just being so food obsessed and just, like just having to have these things and all these food addictions that I had. And it really brought that to the surface and brought it to my awareness. And I'm honestly growing in that area, and it's helping me to deal with that because that is a real issue. And I'm sure a lot of us have it. There's so many addictive ingredients in food these days, and you may be addicted to it and not even know it. But I'm telling you, on this diet, if you're like craving something that bad and you're feeling like you daggone near to have the shakes with it, and it's like you have a food addiction. And this diet will definitely bring that out and call you on it. So I do love that about this diet. And I appreciate that because it's something that, I'm working on. I'm definitely a work in progress with that. And I do credit the alkaline diet with allowing me to see that. So anyway, I'm decided to add some kale to this meal because I can't just eat those patties. That's not enough. Now, sometime though, I would do something like that, make like a sauce and just eat the patties for dinner. We don't eat like these big extravagant dinners on this diet. Not at all. The meals are very simple. sometimes it is a one ingredient type of thing, and I'm not making, sometimes literally I would put these patties on a plate, make some sauce, and that's it. Like I wouldn't do anything else to it, to the meal. But today I did want some greenery on there. And if anything, for you all, um, yeah, we wanted some greenery. But here are the patties. They held together well. They came out nice and crispy. So also decided to throw in some sun-dried tomatoes with this dish. Thought it would just give a pop of color to the greens. Honestly, I just wanted to throw them on there, and just to add a little tang to the dish as well. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, you want to keep this diet interesting so that you stick with it, and that's kind of my objective at this point, because I am definitely going to stick with it. Like it's non-negotiable. I'm definitely going to always move forward with this diet. I'm definitely not giving up on it. Never, ever. I will just continue to challenge myself to be creative and to come up with recipes that keep me entertained and keep my palate entertained, keep my mind stimulated. Because again, this diet definitely, from a health perspective, it is second to none. 10 out of 10 for sure. I've done many different vegan diets and different styles of being vegan. Definitely have been the junk food vegan for, I spent some time with that, but I've tried raw vegan, have not tried fruitarian. Okay, so I'm actually putting some sauce on here that I just had in the fridge, because I try to keep some kind of sauce, dressing, salad dressing, sauce, whatever you want to call it. It's just like a all-purpose kind of sauce I keep in the fridge at all times, and sometimes I want to sprinkle it on something, so that's what I did. But here is the meal. I just decided to throw in some mushroom. I had to have some mushroom is key for me on this diet. It definitely keeps me going. I have to always have mushroom, but it came out so delicious. I had to have some dessert. I had to have some dessert, and when I went to Trader Joe's earlier, I did pick up some of these. I picked up some of these apples because I wanted some apple crisp, and I wanted to see if I could make it alkaline. At least try. But I was thinking on the way home, I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen. It is mostly alkaline. It's just that I broke down and used some cane sugar. I'm sorry, some raw cane sugar. I just couldn't take it. But if it helps, I did mix the sugar. So mix the raw cane sugar with the coconut sugar, just kind of a mix, like a blend of sorts that I keep in my cabinet, because I don't know, the coconut sugar by itself, I'm not feeling the flavor. It's just not, it's not working for me. But yeah, so that's what I did. But other than that, though, everything is alkaline on this dish. But yeah, I did want some apple crisp, because I haven't had some in a while. It gave me feeling of the fall coming, because I do make this like quite a bit when it's fall. But I just wanted some tonight, had that little sweet tooth, and I wanted it. So, and it doesn't take me that long to make up some apple crisp. And I just wanted to make go ahead. I wanted to make good on these apples that I just picked up. I went out of my way to go pick these apples up. So I'm like, come on, now you got to use these Granny Smiths. But yeah, so I have here some coconut oil, spelt flour, and my sweetener blend of raw cane sugar and coconut sugar. So just kind of blending all that together to make the crumble part of it. Yeah, and just seeing how it turns out. And I just put a little salt, and I don't even know why. I don't know, for some reason when I bake, I guess every recipe always says add a little salt, so I just kind of did it. But this is not like a recipe I followed. I'm just like winging it, and this is what I do in the kitchen, y'all. I'm always just winging it, but it usually comes out pretty good. So, and I've made apple crisp like, oh my gosh, so many times, so many times. Now I'm probably going to add some spelt flakes, yes, because I don't know, it doesn't have that grit that I'm trying to get here. So, because the thing is, usually, and then I put some hemp seed in there. Usually, to get that grit, you're usually, and that's some coconut flakes. You're usually using butter chunks, but I'm not doing butter. I'm doing coconut oil. And right now my coconut oil is soft. If it was fall, it would be solid, but right now it's not. So I had to add those other things in there to kind of get that grit that I wanted for the crumble. And it still didn't work. So I poured in some agave syrup, some raw agave syrup, and hopefully this will work and do the trick. But yeah, just stirring it and stirring it, just trying to get that grit. And finally, that was the magic ingredient that I needed, and that worked out. So yeah, there it is. You see that grit? You got to get that, or you won't have that crumble. So there it is. Gonna pop those on top of the apples and then kind of spread it all around. Then I'm gonna have to actually make another batch of it because I like to put a batch on top. So I like my crumble throughout my apples and on top. So that batch was for the throughout, and then I'm going to make another batch for on top. Now, the only reason why I'm doing this separately is because, again, my kitchen is very tiny. I am in a tiny apartment and I don't have space to have made both at the same time. So that's the only reason. But it only takes me a quick second to whip up the crumble for the top, so it's no biggie. And now the crumble on top does not have agave syrup. I believe I just did the coconut oil, the sweetener, and flour mix because I didn't need that to be as crumbly. So yeah, threw that in the oven on 350 for a few. Well, it takes more than a few, maybe about half an hour. And here it is. Came out really well. I'm not sure why I didn't throw some cherries in there. Maybe next time. But again, you all, I was just winging it. And honestly, I was just trying to get a quick fix for my sweet tooth that I had. But here is, a nice quick dessert to make that is pretty much alkaline, that, you could kind of whip up whenever you need something a little sweet, but a little sweet treat. Yeah, then I'm sorry, you all, I had to cheat a little and I decided to pop on some sorbet. This is mango sorbet. But it's not that bad, mango sorbet. So yeah, pop some mango sorbet on there and went to town. It was so delicious. 10 out of 10. Yes. So that is it for what I eat in a day. I hope you enjoyed the content. If so, give it a big thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comments. Check me out over on blissfullymindful.life. Sign up for my newsletter for more inspiration. And I do hope that you try some alkaline dishes. And please, if you do, share your recipes in the comments below. I would love to hear them. I'm always open for those. And again, love you bunches and bunches and bunches and bunches. Sunflower smooches. Peace and love. And I will see you all next time. Mwah.